Reddit Ask Me Anything. I'm a guy who went to prison for trolling swatting Ask Me Anything. Hello, my name is Kyle. I just left prison on Wednesday following an early release on my 4-year 11-month sentence for threatening to shoot up a school in Ohio from my home in Florida on 4chan. In no way, shape or form should you do this. Please learn from my mistake if you are taking the same path of trolling and internet addiction. You've spoken a bit how you realized you were in actual, serious trouble when the FBI called you. I don't want to dredge up bad memories, but can you walk us through what that actually felt like, knowing that they were coming after you? Were you sick? Did some kind of flight instinct kick in where you felt like running? A lot of pacing and anxiety? Did you call your parents? Just wondering how it went down. Good to see you on a better path now, man. Well, when I spoke to the FBI agent over the phone, he demanded somewhere I could meet with him immediately. It was the morning after the iPhone 6 came out and I had been waiting in line all night with a friend. So I meet with him at the local Waffle House. My instinct the entire time was to try and explain that the threat was just a joke post on 4chan and that I would never hurt anyone. At the end of the meeting I was in tears, but he said the FBI was not charging me, but he had to report back to Ohio and it was up to them to charge me, and left the meeting. Ohio issued the warrant and I was arrested in Florida the next day. Do you think anything would have played out differently if you had requested a lawyer be present during your meeting with the FBI agent? Hell yes, because said lawyer would never allow a confession of any kind. Having Wi-Fi is enough reasonable doubt to potentially help. What made you think that was a good idea? I'm not even being an a-hole, I promise. When I was a freshman, 2000, a kid in my grade made a bomb threat though some really vague communication with someone on a burner phone. They caught him quickly and we never saw him again. Even though you were states away, you weren't nervous? Did you know they were coming for you? Or was it a surprise? Thank you. I followed you from the other thread. It was kind of like the old 4chan Cardston threads. You know, the one where someone would post the webcam of Times Square that was positioned in front of a store with a card stand out front. OP would then say, hey, I am going to tip over that card stand in 30 minutes, and then it never happens. It was like that. Hey, I am going to shoot up a school in 4 hours. The goal is to make you wait the 4 hours to see if it actually happens. Maybe don't write that you're going to shoot up a school in 4 hours again in all caps. He enjoyed the rush from it. It gave him a sense of pride and accomplishment. It only cost him 4 years and 11 months in prison, coupled with $2,100 plus of DLC lawyers. It's one thing in games, but now the entire legal system is offering DLC? Duck this. Where do you think you're going after this? And how do you think it changed from what way you would be going? I would be dead now. My drinking would have gotten to the point where I could have gone drinking and driving. Now, even through this painful experience, I see a light. I am smarter and more driven to be an amazing, hard-working person who will overcome this thing. What was your first meal once you got out of prison? My family and I ordered a 120 nugget party platter from Chick-fil-A in Princeton. WV. It was Ask Me Anything zing. Holy shit, that must have cost a lot of GBPs. How does it feel to be Florida man? Breaking. Florida man knows how it feels to be Florida man. How exactly did they track you down? The FBI got my IP address and my ISP gave them my billing info. Should have used an incognito tab. Edit. Come on guys, 17k and no gold, WTF. How do you feel now coming back to the internet? I feel like I'd never use the internet again after going to prison for it. I thought I would be banned from the internet. So much has changed. It's taking a while to get used to. Like, why is the Facebook app 600 millibars on Android? It's 60 millibars for me. I think you got the FBI bloatware version. So Facebook then? You are seeing this story because 256 of your friends like Federal Bureau of Investigation. No, not really. The prison I was at was about 55% African American, 40% white, and 5% other races. Most guys are cool with each other. The only thing that really causes problems is calling someone a bitch regardless of race. What was your daily routine in prison? Wake up about 6:30 am, go to breakfast, come back, watch the first hour of GMA, then watch Match Game on GSN, then go outside to listen to BBC News Hour on my radio. Come back in for count, lunch, afternoon get instructor job, count again, dinner, Jeopardy, more TV then bed, rinse, repeat. Something about this mundane routine makes me think prison is like being unemployed and single. Or retirement with a bad pension. What was the thought process behind the school you picked? Was it just totally random, data to map sort of thing? What was your trial like? Was the prosecution focused on proving you made the threats? Or trying to show how damaging the effect was? Or trying to paint you as a dangerous character? It was basically a random place I picked out. Oh, the prosecution did everything they could. The media followed my case every time I had a pre-trial. There was a camera. Did you ever feel like a criminal when you did the trolling, and did you ever think it could backfire? No, I just felt like your average troll. Just took it a little too far obviously. Have you seen the Troll Trace South Parks? Yes, they hit home hard. Was getting caught a part of your plan? Of course. What was the process of being initially detained? Did the FBI just knock on your door while you were home and said you were under arrest? Well, the FBI agent and my local sheriff did not press charges. However, the FBI agent did have to report his findings to the Ohio sheriff. Then, they pressed charges and I was arrested at work, taken to jail and waited 27 days for extradition. What was your job before you were arrested? I was a weekend custodial guy at the University of South Florida, a position I held for almost 5 years. What was their reaction? They fire you immediately? Or did you quit? What do you think you might do for work now? I was fired by the president of the university. Do you have a job now? What is it? How are you getting back on your feet? I have several jobs lined up. Hope I will be hired back tomorrow. Do you still browse 4chan, or have you sworn off that website since getting arrested? I'm sure you've had a lot of time to think about what caused you to threaten that. I have sworn off the website. It hasn't even touched my address bar. It's like a PTSD thing for me now. Aside from what you were arrested for, what do you think was the worst thing you did online while trolling? 100% other than that, it was mostly sports trolling on SP. What was the moment when you realized, oh man, this might not be considered a prank and I may be in deeper trouble than I initially thought? The minute the voice on the other end of the phone claimed to be an FBI agent. Sounds like a scam. Are you sure it was the FBI and that you went to a real prison? What was the conversation about? The weather most likely. Whether he'll go to maximum security prison or minimum. Did doing stuff like that give you a high? What was your primary motivation? And how do you recommend getting across to others who still partake in harmful pranks and cyberbullying? Absolutely, it was a high. Coupled with being drunk, it was a different kind of euphoria, having the power to make people freak out, think something bad is going to happen when it really isn't. Did the realization that there are actual dangers incurred from such behavior make you feel a sense of guilt and as though you had done something definitely wrong? Do you feel regret over your decisions and not because of the impact it had on you personally? I feel guilty for it every day. I wish I had not have been such a loser. The hardest part was encountering the people at the Star Behavioral Center who were directly affected. I tried so hard to prove that it was just a mistake. It changed me personally because I have now eliminated negativity from my life. I am going to be more outgoing and positive and really try to make an impact on the people I know and will meet. I don't want to be a bad guy or solely know as the guy who went to prison for trolling. I want to be a guy who is known to persevere. What was the most difficult aspect about adjusting to prison life? What did you do with your time? The most difficult thing is adjusting to zero privacy and being treated less than human by guards and other staff. So, how do your friends and family view you? I'm sure it'll be a fun topic to bring up around the holidays. They know I would never truly hurt anyone, but they understand I was being a drunk douche and watching me throw my life away. I am very lucky for a shot at redemption. Up thread, you mentioned the euphoria of manipulating people. There are a lot of programs and ideas being thrown about on how to discourage other people, especially young people, from doing something similar. What do you think would be most effective? showing the weirdness of being disconnected from the constant flow of information. Like I can't count the times I wish I could have googled the answer to something or have even checked simple baseball scores. Don't worry, the Rays still suck. What is your biggest takeaway from this experience? To work as hard as I can to be the great person I know I can be. My life was a wreck when I was doing all that stuff. I was overeating, drinking every day, and I dropped out of school. So do you think prison helped you as a person? It's helped me because I do not want to be anything like the people there. Selling drugs, beating women, hurting kids. It's a terrible thing. I want to be the exact opposite. I want to be a clean, sober guy, an amazing husband and a family of my own someday. Ro, you made it to the end. You're a ducking beast. Thanks for watching, mate. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for more high quality content.